Since Repair Clinic encourages you to perform this repair safely, a warning icon will appear when you should use caution. To replace a valve spring retainer on this Briggs Stratton engine, you will need a 7mm socket, a 7mm wrench, a 10mm socket with an extension and a 3/8" universal joint adapter, a 5/8" wrench, a 5/8" spark plug wrench, a 5/32" Allen wrench, a 5/16" nut driver, a T30 Torx bit, a feeler gauge, and a torque wrench. Before you begin this procedure, make sure the engine and muffler have cooled. Using the 7mm socket, unthread the 4 mounting screws, securing the guard to the muffler. Use the 10mm socket with an extension to unthread the rear screw securing the guard's mounting strap to the bracket. Remove the guard and detach the breather tube from the rocker cover. Now use the 10mm socket to unthread the 4 mounting screws, securing the rocker cover to the cylinder head. You will need to use the 3/8" universal joint adapter to unthread the top screw. With the 4 screws unthreaded, you can detach the cover. If loose, remove the rocker cover gasket. Next, detach the spark plug wire and boot from the spark plug. Use the 5/8" spark plug wrench to help loosen the spark plug, then unthread it. Confirm the engine piston is in the up position, known as the top dead center, then lower the piston slightly, making sure both rocker arms stay loose. Use the 5/8" wrench to secure the intake rocker arm adjuster nut, and the 5/32" Allen wrench to loosen the set screw. With the set screw loosened, fully remove the nut and the rocker arm. Slide out the push rod. Now repeat to remove the exhaust valve rocker arm and push rod. Use the 10mm socket to unthread the 2 screws, securing the muffler to the cylinder head. Remove the muffler. Next, use the 5/16" nut driver to unthread the 2 mounting screws, securing the air filter cover. Remove the cover and the air filter, then unthread the screws securing the filter base. Pull the choke lever off so you can fully remove the base. Using the T30 Torx bit, unthread the 2 mounting screws, securing the carburetor, spacer, and gaskets to the cylinder head. Now use the 7mm wrench to unthread the screws securing the cylinder head shield. Fully detach the shield. Unthread the 4 mounting screws securing the cylinder head using the 10mm socket. Set the cylinder head on a towel to prevent the valve from falling out. Remove the appropriate valve cap, then push the old spring retainer to the side to release, if still intact. Before you install the new valve spring retainer, confirm the spring is in place. Then slide on the new retainer and snap it into place to secure. Replace the valve cap on the stem. Before you reinstall the cylinder head, first clean off any residue from the crankcase. Realign the gasket on the mounting pins, if applicable. Reposition the cylinder head on the crankcase and thread the 4 mounting screws in a diagonal order. Using the 10mm socket on a torque wrench, torque the 4 screws to 220 inch-pounds. Confirm the valve caps are in place on the valve stems. We recommend you examine the push rods to see if either one is bent, and replace one or both rods with new ones if necessary. Insert both push rods through the guide until they are fully seated in the cylinder head. Realign the exhaust valve rocker arm. Partially thread the adjuster nut. Repeat to install the intake valve rocker arm and nut. Now use the feeler gauge to set the appropriate gap between both rocker arms and their respective valve caps. The intake rocker arm gap should be between 0.004 and 0.006 thousandths of an inch. The exhaust rocker arm gap should be between 0.009 and 0.011 thousandths of an inch. Tighten both rocker arm adjuster set screws, then recheck the gaps. Reposition the cylinder head shield. Thread and tighten the side screw to secure. Realign the carburetor gasket and spacer on the cylinder head. Reinsert the 2 mounting screws through the carburetor and slide the second gasket onto the screws. Position the carburetor and thread the screws into the cylinder head. Confirm the gasket is intact, then reposition the muffler and thread the 2 mounting screws to secure. Reinstall the rocker cover by inserting the top mounting screw, then slide the gasket, if applicable, over the screw. Align the cover and gasket on the cylinder head and thread the screw. Replace the remaining screws to fully secure the cover. The longer screw goes on the bottom. Keeping the breather tube inserted in the air filter base, insert the tube into the hole in the rocker cover. Reinstall the muffler guard by positioning it over the muffler. Then thread the screw to secure the strap to the bracket. Thread the 4 front mounting screws to secure the guard to the muffler. Rethread the spark plug. Be careful not to damage the threads by over-tightening. Reattach the wire and boot to the spark plug. Insert the 2 mounting screws through the air filter base. Then align the base and thread the screws into the carburetor. Replace the choke lever. With the pre-cleaner positioned in the cover, followed by the air filter with its rubber gasket facing outward, align the cover on the base and secure it with the screws. The engine should now be ready for use.